Can you even speak English? The host's mocking voice echoed across the studio, turning a competition into humiliation. A 15-year-old black girl stood under the blinding lights, the audience waiting to see her stumble. They expected silence, embarrassment, defeat. But what no one knew was that this girl carried a secret that would shatter stereotypes in seconds. What she revealed next left the host speechless, the audience gasping, and the world rethinking everything they thought they knew. Each round of the show pushed contestants harder with difficult geography and history questions, but the crowd loved the thrill. Then came her turn, the youngest contestant standing small against the massive backdrop, ready to prove herself. But instead of encouragement, she was met with raised eyebrows and a smirk from the host. His eyes said it all. He wasn't here to test her knowledge. He was here to test her worth. The host leaned forward, his smirk sharp under the studio lights. "So, can you even speak English?" he asked, the words heavy with disbelief. The audience gasped, a ripple of nervous laughter echoing in the room. The question wasn't just about language, it was a challenge wrapped in mockery, aimed at undermining her confidence before she even had a chance to prove herself. She held her ground, quiet at first, letting the tension grow. The host's eyes narrowed, clearly expecting her to fumble. Then he asked the first geography question, one he thought would expose her as unprepared. "Name all the states that border the Mississippi River." A tricky question, designed to confuse even seasoned contestants. Murmurs ran through the crowd, some leaning in, some skeptical, some downright amused at what they assumed would be her failure. Instead of hesitation, she answered confidently, "Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana." The studio went silent for a heartbeat, the host blinking in disbelief. The audience exchanged stunned glances. No one expected such precision. But the host wasn't done. If anything, the challenge had only grown. "Very impressive," he said, his voice tight with forced politeness. "But can you do more? How about, tell us in another language?" A sneer tugged at the corner of his mouth, as if daring her to fail again. The air felt electric, every eye glued to her. She took a steady breath and, with clarity, repeated her answer in Spanish. Then French. Then Mandarin. One by one, 6 more languages followed, each perfectly pronounced, each answer correct. Shock painted the host's face, a mix of embarrassment and awe. The audience erupted, some cheering, some clapping, some still in disbelief at what they had just witnessed. The host tried to regain control, firing more questions, trickier, more convoluted geography riddles about U.S. rivers, capitals, and landmarks. But each time she met the challenge head-on. The confidence in her voice, the precision in her answers, and the sheer brilliance of speaking 7 languages silenced every hint of ridicule. By the end of the round, the tension had flipped completely. The host's arrogance had crumbled. What was meant to humiliate her had instead revealed her genius. Every glance from the audience, every gasp, every whispered "how" underscored the unexpected truth. She was not just capable, she was extraordinary. And in that moment, the competition wasn't about points or prizes anymore. It was about respect, perception, and shattering the assumptions that had been so casually thrown at her. The room held its breath, waiting to see what she would do next. And everyone knew, whatever came now would be unforgettable. The host's smirk had vanished, replaced by a flicker of panic he couldn't hide. He leaned closer to the microphone, voice strained. "All right, let's see. Can you answer this one? Name the capitals of all the New England states, fast and correctly." His tone carried both challenge and disbelief, as if this question would finally unmask her. The camera zoomed in on her face, capturing every flicker of emotion, the tiniest hesitation, the silent calculation. For a heartbeat, the room held its breath. Every eye in the studio was fixed on her, the audience at home leaning closer to their screens. The tension was electric, the stakes no longer just a competition. They were a test of courage against blatant prejudice. She didn't flinch, one by one. She named them Boston, Augusta, Concord, Providence, Montpelier, Hartford. Then, as if to make the moment unforgettable, she repeated the entire list in Spanish. French, Mandarin, Arabic, German, Italian, and Hindi, 7 languages, flawlessly, confidently. A stunned silence followed. The host, who had mocked her mere minutes ago, could only stare, his jaw tight, eyes wide with disbelief. The audience erupted in cheers, gasps, and applause, some rising to their feet. Cameras panned across faces, shock, awe, admiration, all directed at a 15-year-old girl who had refused to be diminished. She had turned humiliation into triumph, mockery into empowerment, and in that instant it wasn't about the trivia, the languages, or even the competition. It was a statement, a declaration that intelligence, skill, and courage could not be dictated by bias or prejudice. The host, once so confident in his derision, had become the silent witness to something far greater than he could control or dismiss. She had won more than points. She had won respect. And as the cameras lingered on her triumphant smile, the audience knew what had started as an attempt to belittle her would be remembered as a moment that shattered assumptions and challenged the world to rethink what they thought they knew about ability, identity, and courage. As the applause finally settled, the host remained silent, his attempt at mockery dismantled in mere moments. The 15-year-old girl had not only answered every question flawlessly, but had done so in 7 languages, turning the tables on a room that had expected her to fail. Cameras captured her calm, confident smile, a quiet triumph that spoke louder than any words. The moment on stage became more than a competition win. It was a statement against the subtle and overt biases that still permeate society. Millions watching from home had witnessed a truth that's often overlooked. Talent, intelligence, and courage are not dictated by skin color or background. In that instant, she became a symbol of resilience, proving that dignity and self-belief could silence mockery more effectively than anger ever could. Yet the story wasn't just about one girl's victory. It was a reflection of the barriers that countless young people face daily, assumptions that diminish their potential, prejudices that attempt to define them before they even speak. Her response, calm yet powerful, was a reminder that these moments, though challenging, are opportunities to challenge stereotypes and demand recognition for true ability. Walking off the stage, she carried more than a score or a trophy. She carried a message that respect must be earned through understanding, not assumptions, and that courage can transform moments of humiliation into milestones of inspiration. Her performance left an imprint on everyone present, a ripple that extended far beyond the studio. So, the question lingers. How many more voices, waiting quietly, possess brilliance the world is too quick to underestimate? And how many of us are ready to stop doubting them before they even speak?